Once I start talking about my problem, and depending on how active the listeners are on Twitter and how fast the bat signal can go out, there could be tens of thousands of people in the last minute.
Yes, that's possible. Well, okay. My device says it's 5:05.
Okay.
So we'll start the show. I've got my thing written too. Hello, this is the Problem Show, where we listen to our friends' problems for 5 minutes. Today, our guest is Jay Reed. J.H. Reed is a marine systems entrepreneur from Kansas. He lives in Northern California among the legal and illegal pot plants. He enjoys wit and spit conversation arguments with his wife in the mode of George and Martha, with less verbosity. So, Jay, you think you've got problems?
Yes, I've got some problems. I've got some small problems and one great big problem. I have a great deal of student loan and credit card debt. Also, my agent can't seem to sell any of my scripts or get me staffed on a show, but that might be my fault. As a result, I have to get piecemeal work doing accounting, video production, editing, and any other catch-can work I can scratch up. Also, my parents will soon die. My wife's parents will soon die. One of my 2 dogs is heartworm, and we have to give him a drug to keep him deadly still while we wait for the medicine to work, or he will die. All of this in the context of COVID-19. But these are all manageable problems. I have one real problem. RBG, may she rest in peace. Her sad and untimely death touches on my real problem, and that's with an immature, utopia-demanding cohort who do not see that the political process in our country rewards the pragmatic and strategic rather than the morally right and morally consistent, as it has from slave-owning day one. A counterfactual. Were there people in, say, 1850 who saw slavery as an evil and also thought black men should have the vote, and also thought black and white women should have the vote, and also thought we should have a limited regulated work week, and thought gay men and women were no more or no less evil or pure than anyone else, and all sorts of other things we today take for granted as being clearly morally true? Likely Whitman, probably a few others. But did any of them think those things were politically possible in 1850? If they did, they were obviously wrong. If they didn't, they were strategic and pragmatic and hopeful. These things have come to pass. The United States has changed. People have changed. To dismantle a racist electoral college, a century of misconceptions about why the Civil War was fought, the idea that not everyone can or should be an entrepreneur, that healthcare is a privilege, and on down the line takes a long time, a lot of change, a lot of time. Knowing today in 2020 that healthcare for all, time off to have and care for children, equal access to the voting booth, an equitable pay scale between the highest and lowest paid, a fair minimum wage, and so on down the line, knowing that these are all right and moral and make for a healthy society does not make them reality. It takes a process, a corrupt, slow, and dubious process, but if we don't follow that process, what's left? What are the consequences if we refuse to participate in a racist, corrupt political system? Samuel Alito and John Roberts, to name just 2. Al Gore, for whatever you think of him, should have won the election in 2000. While he won the popular vote because of non-pragmatic, non-strategic utopians supporting the Naderite Green Party, George Bush won Florida and New Hampshire by fewer votes in each state than Nader got. Bush therefore won the presidency. Do you remember those grim times? Much better than they are now. Not only would Al Gore have gotten to pick a couple of Supreme Court justices, including the Chief Justice who would have presided over Donald Trump's impeachment, we would not have Citizens United, absurd gun laws, the teetering of universal health care, aka Obamacare, and a forever war in Afghanistan, among many other things. These same utopians hijacked the 2016 election in the guise of Jill Stein, just as a few misguided Antifans have hijacked the good name of Black Lives Matter these past few months. Our society is built so complexly that even the tumult of 1929, 1968, 2008, and 2020 barely dented its trajectory. There's not going to be a revolution. As such, utopian dreaminess is not going to unleash an upheaval. It will only serve to keep the bad guys in power. In my defense, if you were to list the policy goals of the Green Party in 2000 or the Bernie Bros in 2020, I would be in agreement with about 95% of them and to the left of them on the rest. But I know I hold views out of step with the majority of electorate and certainly all of my family, and so I choose a pragmatic and strategic alignment with Democrats. Politics is a coalition business. So my question to the latter-day Naderites, aka Bernie Bros, aka Socialist Left, anarchist socialist left, is why would Black ladies in South Carolina vote for Bernie Sanders? These committed supporters of Bernie Sanders are blinded by their own blinding enthusiasm, much as the most fervent Trump supporters are, feeling in their deepest and darkest that this ferocious enthusiasm has some meaning beyond the one vote each person can use at the ballot box. Relatedly, why aren't there enough Bernie Bros for policy victories? It's a simple arithmetical fact that there are more people who support Donald Trump, more bodies who support Joe Biden, even more people who are for Hillary than support Bernie Sanders. Bernie even admits this. Maybe Bernie is a latter-day Walt Whitman, extolling ideals a century ahead of their time. Very well. I somewhat leans towards that belief myself. But we live in this century and need to pragmatically, strategically support issues we can win on, forgetting or not knowing the childish fantasies of the 2000 election leads to only one place, the dark arms of QAnon.
All right. Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jay.